everyone, so I've come to find out that I have lost all of the notes that I had for my previous videos, and I have no idea where they ended up on the computer. The plan for last week's video was to take a little bit of a break from my usual going through history, and because there were mitigations that were going on in Illinois, to go over some family-friendly board games and card games and shoot some how to play footage for a couple of them. I had the first game set up and I was shooting footage on my phone because the computer at the time was updating to Big Sur, and then the power went out for 6 hours. And when the power came back on, because the computer was in the middle of restarting Big Sur, the computer froze. And I did not know what to do because it stayed frozen for most of the rest of the day. And so, yeah, I lost most of last week. So this week I'm going to try to return to form, or at least I was going to try to return to form, but then most of my notes were gone. I'm not really sure what happened there. So today I'm more or less just going to be doing a little bit of a commentary on the whole situation with the pandemic, and how we're retreading a lot of water with lawsuits when it comes to individual rights and what states and the federal government can and cannot do, because a lot of this has been gone over, said and done in the early 18 to early 1900s, during pandemics back before we had vaccines. 1824 case that went up to the Supreme Court, Gibbons versus Ogden, established exactly what the states were responsible for and what the federal government was responsible for. In 1902, the Supreme Court later established that a state can actually segment off an entire geographic area. I'm not going to name the case because the defendant has a very, very long French name that I would not be able to pronounce if I tried. But it was versus the state of Louisiana. And basically, without getting too deep into it, because there's a lot of legalese, the states themselves are given very broad authority. The governors are given very broad authority. And yes, the authority can be reined in by either the judicial system or each state's legislature, but they can also be expanded by the judicial system or the state legislature. And one way or another, most of these lawsuits are pretty much going to be moot once the vaccine is rolled out to the public anyway. So a lot of this is a huge waste of time. I honestly don't get it. This is a public health emergency. Why people are flipping out over something that could easily be solved by, putting on a mask. If you want to save restaurants, order takeout. If you wanted to save your bars, you could have just, gotten yourself a bendy straw and drank your drink through a bendy straw and worn a mask and sat at a table rather than going to the actual bar. Weirdness. So anyway, not the best researched or put together video, but like I said, I lost my notes. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good weekend, and hopefully I'll have a better organized video put together by next week. And stay safe, everyone, and have a safe Thanksgiving.